This is a 2025 Chevy Silverado ZR2. And the question is this still the best off-road truck in the segment? I borrowed it from Seiner Chevrolet here in Salt Lake City. This truck is available for sale. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys can see options and features on this build. At the very top is the description with the color. So this is slate gray metallic. And then here is a short listing of the standard equipment. Be sure to pause to see more. Base price comes in at $70,000. And starting off the options is the tech package, also the power sunroof, multi-flex tailgate, and it looks like they're giving you a $300 credit for the 18-inch gloss black wheels. Destination comes in at $1995 with a total price of $74,175. And then here are the Feely Company numbers off to the side. What is the one truck Chevy does not offer? That is a good question, right? Let's talk about it. Toyota has a TRD Pro, Ram has the RHO, and of course Ford has the Raptor. Those trucks are considered Baja pickups. This is considered an off-road pickup. I've always wondered why GM has not decided to build something to compete with those trucks. And when you get a ZR2, you're getting a off-road oriented pickup. For example, Toyota does have something called the Trail Hunter. The Trail Hunter, if Toyota built that in the Tundra, would be a direct competitor with this. Same thing goes for the Tremor from Ford and Ram's Rebel package. So those trucks would really compete with the ZR2, but this is truly king of the hill in my opinion because of what you get with this package. They really did a good job building this truck. I love the front bumper design here that they give you. You have great ground clearance. You guys can see that huge skid plate, which I'll show you guys here in a second. Red recovery hooks, front parking sensors, stylish front grille, front cameras, flowed the roof with that bow tie with the red accent right there. Great design for the hood, LED headlights, and here's the crown jewel, the Multimatic suspension. I thought I could show it to you guys a little bit better on this side, but I cannot. So the Multimatic DSSV, which is dynamic suspension spool valve, does have a triangular design up front, and these don't use deflective discs. They use the spool valves for the secondary chamber. There's also a oil reservoir inside of there too. You guys can see up front, or up top I should say, you have a aluminum control arm there, hydroformed lower control arm, and they do stiffen this control arm too. That steer knuckle is going to be like aluminum inside of there too. Coilover setup for the shock in the coils there, and then they give you a fabric material for the liner. And then here are the tires. These are the Goodyear Wrangler Territory MTs LT 275/70 18-inch wheel. These are 33.2 inches tall for tire inch and 10.8 inches wide. 6-lug, 4-piston brakes. And you guys can see right here, made in the US of A's. Load range C, and these are not 3-peak rated, I don't see. No, these are not 3-peak rated. You guys see right here, 2,680 pounds of capacity for each tire at 50 PSI cold. Here is where you're gonna plug in for that diesel if it's really, really cold. And they do widen this truck here, so they do give you these clearance lights up front for this extra wide truck here. So here's a nice side view of the truck too. And some of the badging on the side. They do paint the top of the mirror cap here. Here's a forward light here for stationary usage. Also, blind spot monitoring. Black door handles with smart key system. Let's go ahead and check out underneath the truck so you guys can see some of the skid plates, and I'll show you guys some of the articulation as well. So here's the rear. You guys can see that leaf pack. How much articulation this thing has. Insane. And this answers the question for sure. This truck does have really good articulation, especially with that extra lift that they give these trucks. You guys see those leaves? They're pretty much compressed. The shock right there. Good stuff. And then here are those skid plates. They go pretty far back. And they give you one for that transfer case. You can probably see it right there. And when we talk about approach angle, this cutout in the bumper here, this is nice for if you do plan on going rock crawling because you get a better approach angle. 24-gallon tank for your diesel. And then they do provide the steps standard in the rear. These are not full LED taillights, but there's a mix of LED and incandescent bulbs in there. Rear parking sensors, black bumper, class 4 hitch, camera provisions, and you guys saw that this tailgate was an option, multi-flex. And if you push these buttons together, it does drop down into a step like this. They also provide a grab handle here with bed lights, 400 watts of power right there. They used to give you like a ZR2 badge here back in what, 2023, I believe. 2 cameras, power sliding glass, and then here's that sunroof. One of my favorite things about this truck is they give you a matching wheel and tire, and this is going to have a, is it 323 rear end, front and rear lockers. And then here is a side view. You guys notice too that they don't have any exhaust tips exposed in the rear for better ground clearance. Even though GM doesn't offer a true Baja truck, they are the only half-ton currently available with a diesel. And if you don't remember, they were last to this party, and they're the only ones standing today. Regardless of how you look at it, this diesel is the best of the best. They did some revisions back in 2022, I believe. So this is the LZO. Now, they did do a new steel piston design with this engine. Also, they did increase compression to 15.2 to 1. New fuel injectors and fuel pump through Denso, which reliability is top with that company. Also, they do have thicker cylinder block inserts, revised turbocharger, compressor geometry, new water pump with increased impeller size, and the list goes on and on and on for this too. So 305 horsepower and 495 pound-feet of torque. That is insane. And that's why you buy the diesel. You buy it because you have massive torque off the line, which is great for towing, but if you're just cruising on the highway a lot, this engine will return decent fuel economy. You will get better than what that sticker says on the window for sure. And the only negative thing is if you do a lot of city driving, I would skip this option because of all the emissions crap. You do have a 10-speed transmission behind it, and as I said earlier, 323 rear end. Let's go ahead and check out the interior really quickly, and then we're going to take the truck for a quick drive. Inside the ZR2, you do have this black and gray stone interior, and they have this lime green stitching. And they do a great job with the overall design. Nice graphics, nice trimming, black chrome here, a little bit of satin finish, power folding outside mirrors. There it goes. And Bose premium sound system. Now this did have the technology package, so if you don't remember, that package did give it the 4K rear view mirror, has the heads-up display, adaptive cruise control, and then it has this power steering column, which is an option. That's what I wanted to point out too. Now on the seats, a little bit wider seat cushion with the ZR2 compared to the standard because you have this better bowstring top and bottom. Perforated leather, so you're gonna have heated and ventilated seats. Let's go ahead and check out the passenger side. On this side, you do have a 10-way seat, including lumbar. Nice design on the dash grab handle for both sides up front. little bit of storage there. And no surprise, you cannot use this truck for a bed camper. No surprise there. A little bit of storage, all with the floor mats down below. It says ZR2 and a kick plate up front. However, they cheap out in the rear. Seat back pockets, outboard heated seats, 2 USBs. You have these storage cubbies on both sides. 60/40 bench. Decent headroom too. You guys ready to take this for a quick drive? Let's go. It is hot outside today, although it's not necessarily hot. It's probably just we're so high above sea level that the sun's just closer. It's probably only like 80 degrees today. No, actually it's showing 91 on here. Now I drove a 2025 Chevy 2500 ZR2, and I'm just doing this to make a point. If you're looking for a pickup and you're not looking to really tow a big trailer, if you're not looking to tow at all really, you like the look of the ZR2 HD, but you don't really need a truck that big. This will fit in the garage a lot better, right? This will fit in the garage in most cases, depending on how big your garage is, obviously. But regardless, the ride, how does it ride? And yes, if you are after a good riding pickup, your wife's gonna kill you if you buy a stiff truck. Just buy this one. This is night and day different. It's so nice. And it's so different in terms of the ride quality that you will be very disappointed if you have to have a comfortable riding pickup. This is 100% the way I would go. I'm so used to driving HD trucks, it doesn't bother me anymore. But for some people, this is the biggest reason why you buy one of these, is you want something capable, but you don't want it to be so stiff that it's unbearable to live with, you know, day to day, right? And even just driving this is smaller. It does still have a lift, so it does feel taller compared to like the regular Silverado pickups in the half-ton segment, that is. Even with that front hood, like that little bulge that it gives you, it doesn't really take away from the visibility. And I will say that even though these seats are stiff, they're comfortable. The ventilated seats come on automatically if you set it up through the screen here. I love the power steering column too. This is I don't understand why this is an option. I mean, for 2025, these trucks cost so much money, it should just come standard almost at these prices, right? But yeah, it still has home link. If you need to charge your phone here, it has a wireless charger. You have USBs, 120 volt power plug in here. And yeah, you have this 12-inch, 13.4 inch display. It has a split screen function. Let's go ahead and hop on the highway really quickly. The other selling factor to this is this truck's not heavy. I remember when I had my Ram 3500, those trucks are so heavy, including the ZR2 HD, that I remember it started to leave like marks on my driveway because of how heavy the truck is. This truck probably weighs 3,000 pounds less weight. So that's just something else to consider. If you don't need a big truck, this will get the job done, and it will probably be a little bit more fun to go off-road with because of how much softer the suspension is. The DSSV, it's just dialed in better for this truck in my opinion. Now when you give it the juice, oh no, you know what, never mind. At this speed, it's slow. I'm going 70 miles an hour. It's just out of steam with the diesel, because remember it only has 305 horsepower, right? So you're gonna feel that top end a little bit less. Now down low, that's where this truck shines. But yeah, overall, I think that for those who aren't towing a trailer at all, and if you are towing something like maybe like a boat or something like that, this is probably good for, I know that you're going to see the towing numbers here in a second, but I would say for this shorter wheelbase truck, for this extra ride height that this truck brings with this shorter wheelbase, it might be better to stick around 6,000 pounds or less for like a boat maybe. And if you're looking at an RV, I would just say you might want to consider maybe not getting a ZR2, because I've noticed with these shorter wheelbases, these trucks, they just sway a lot more, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys remember when I drove that 2500 ZR2. I got like 8 miles to the gallon. So just to give you perspective of, on that same route, I got 14.2 with this truck here. So let's go ahead and put it in reverse really quickly, just so you guys can see the cameras here. So you have 360, decent cameras for if you do plan on going off-road here. Also, bad view camera was a part of this truck too. You have your front rear lockers right here. Hopefully you guys see that. Downhill assist. Let's go ahead and check out the payload. Here are the axles up front, 3,950 pounds. Rear is 3,800 pounds. Gross vehicle weight rating is 7,300 pounds. They do raise the front gross axle rating and the GVWR for the diesel option trucks, and sometimes for the ZR2s, they'll raise that number for the axle in the front. All in payload is actually really good, 1,433 pounds. They're saying that you can tow 8,600 pounds conventionally, 6,000 gooseneck, 15,000 pound gross combined weight rating. And for tire pressure, 38 psi all the way around. Hope you guys liked the video. This is a nice truck. I think that for the money, even though it's not a Baja, it still gets the job done. See you guys soon.